Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It's Waco here at Watches and Wonders with the inimitable Nick Foulkes, the greatest journalist on the planet. And next to him is Pierre Rainero. He is the Heritage Director of Cartier. And today we get to explore some of their new watches together with the great man who is Nick Foulkes. Nick, you have in front of you the Tonka Guichet. What do you think of this?
I do. I like this one better. I think I'm more classic than that. But this is great because you can move it and you can put complications in here. I could see a moon phase maybe here.
Yeah, a date.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It will look good. It's great success, and you priced it sensibly this year for once.
Very well.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. And I think.
Do you remember when I asked you why the pebble cost so much? And you said it's got a mechanical movement. And I said, well, that's 700 francs taken care of. What about the rest of it?
Yeah, but that one for me is very important because you can say that harmony can be from asymmetry. Traditionally, the one you wear, it's very traditional. You're a conservative one because it's very symmetrical, and that's the origin of it. By the way, it was conceived like that. Even if there were some models where the sliding minutes were were closer to the hours.
Well, it's even nice that you put the crown vertically there as well.
Well, that's what's interesting. That you've got the counterset. Is it counterset? Is it countersunk into the? No, it's not. It's just a very thin crown.
Yes, very thin one.
But for the CPCP one that you did in 2005, you moved it to 3 o'clock, and I love the fact that you've moved it back. So it's perfect vertical line.
Because some models had also a ray in the metal, just to mark the difference between the two parallel lines and the center. In this option, we went for the most essential version, so everything is unified. You don't have a difference between the parallel lines and the center, and effectively the choice of a position.
But it's extraordinary, and I had a wonderful breakfast this morning with Cyril Vineron.
You had business breakfast?
Business
already.
Breakfast, yes.
God, you're so keen.
He basically reconnected Cartier with this whole idea that it's a king of elegance. And when I look at Nick wearing that watch, I cannot think of a more elegant watch. And the way it sort of integrates the time telling into the case, it's almost a piece of jewelry.
I mean, the thing is, Cartier's watch business was saved by Cyril, really. I mean, he did stuff I didn't like, but he also did really brilliant stuff. And, as you know, I was like the Cassandra figure. No, I said, bring back CPCP, bring back. And everybody said, no, you must have the tourbillon, lune de moi, blah, blah,
it's
blah.
It's not incompatible, I think.
No, it is. They were crap. You had to force them down the throats of the. Okay, if you want to take the tank and have some high jewelry, you can take 2 of these as well.
No, but it's nice when you have complications serving the needs of style or elegance as well.
Yes.
So you can see now that people have really come to understand the skeletonized crash as well, and that was something that was created back in the day. But Nick, I totally agree with you. Cyril sort of surpassed that by making the entire brand.
The entire brand is CPC, and also the thing is, these are great designs. I mean, they look as good now as they did in the 1930s.
Very true.
So,
and I even think that the proportions of the one of today are more inscribed in our eyes of today.
Yes,
I think.
yes.
And I think it's very elegant also because of that. I think the elegance, is a very subjective notion.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it is subjective really. Some of it is, but some of it is objective. I mean, if it's something that is obviously plainly made of a material that is not suitable to what it does. That's obviously.
But I think
not a good
part
thing.
of our notion of elegance is also the idea that it fits your body, it fits your wrist in a very easy way.
It's proportional.
It's proportional, exactly. It doesn't go too far on your wrist. It's contained in the flat part of your wrist, and this is essential to that idea of elegance.
It is,
I think.
and also it's the gesture of bringing it up.
Yes, very true.
I love the way you do it, Nick. It's also lovely as well because there is handmade angles on that, but it's on the case, not the movement, which is more of a Cartier thing, which I think is really lovely. So let's talk about sizes of watches. What do you think of that, Nick? I do love the fact that you've done now the Santos in this beautiful small size as well.
It's a gorgeous.
So elegant on the wrist. Tell me what you think about that, Pierre. And why do you think it's behind this sort of resurgence in classic or even smaller sizes?
I have a personal experience of that size of a Santos. In the beginning of the 80s, I was living in Italy, and it was just a few years after '78 when the Santos was launched with a metal bracelet.
And the two-tone was really the big thing.
Yes, the two-tone was a big thing, and among men, the smallest size, and it was the epitome of the elegance for men in the beginning of the 80s. in Italy. And I was very surprised, and I realized that for many men in Italy, it was also an idea of expressing their masculinity.
Yes.
I'm so masculine that I can afford to wear a size that you think
It's a
is
double
feminine.
bluff. It's a double bluff or a triple
You
bluff.
know,
Absolutely.
and it meant that I'm strong enough,
Yes.
you know, to wear that, and I like it.
Yes.
You know.
But also, Italy was such a trend-setting market in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's where all the collectors were. That's where all the. I mean, they were almost on their own in the world in being a really educated, cultivated consumers of beautiful timepieces.
And you could measure that by the fact that that's where the first specialized magazines appeared.
Yes.
And it was.
I mean, I
very
think the Audemars
interesting.
Piguet was made for the French and the Italian suppliers, wasn't it? The Royal Oak initially. So I mean, they were super, super important. I mean, I think some of the younger viewers on TikTok may not be aware of that.
Now, on that subject, Nick, have you seen this? It's
on.
spectacular.
Is that where you see the time reflected or something?
So that there was a version of that before, but now we've got one with the integration of the Panther leaping towards the time. And you know, you and I both love jewelry.
Yes.
And I would wear this. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
I love it on your wrist.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I would wear it and just sort of hang out on the weekend in a t-shirt.
Yes, going to the beach maybe.
Yeah, exactly. In my swimming costume.
And you know, the position of a panther is not by chance. I think the idea, is also a Cartier philosophy. When you design a piece of jewelry, all the design is in favor of the stones.
Right.
So all the design should lead the eyes towards the central stone. And in that case, the central stone is the time.
Yes.
And in terms of symbols also, I like the idea to see the watch as a mirror. And in that case, you see the panther as a narcissus.
And can we ask you about that?
This is interesting because this is an exercise on volume, of course, because it is a volume, but also what is very Cartier is the way it has been studied to be very comfortable on the wrist. So even if you have a tiny wrist, it fits you perfectly. And I think that's what we do at Cartier, the measured extravagance in a way. So we go far in terms of exercise on volume.
But it's not blind extravagance. That's what's so good about it.
Not at all.
You do extravagance with you can do bad taste in a good taste way.
You know what Maria Felix said,
But she's the epitome of that, isn't she?
She said, I always loved big jewelry, but coming to Cartier, I knew I had big jewelry de bon goût.
No, but you can't go
so
wrong.
that's a measured
But I mean, it is because and that's because you understand the wearing of it.
It's, for me, it's a bit like this. By the way,
I have it on as well. It feels amazing on the skin as well. There's a sort of sensuality to it as well in terms of the way it rolls.
but also what we like in that is the work on gold.
Yeah.
Because gold, especially in yellow gold, is very central. I think there's something special about it. It's not only a metal that is supportive of anything else like stones, but it's an objective aesthetically per se. So it's a material we like to work in that way, and also to convey the idea that it's a torsade, or it's something that is very interesting. That we work with a metal which is not natural with a metal, and it's to convey another idea of another texture, another kind of metal, a kind of material. And I think it's very. And you see when my Trinity cufflinks, it goes very well because it's the same philosophy of Bombay, as we say in French.
Yes, it's that softness that's lovely. It's sort of you want to caress
touch it. You want to touch it. That's what I meant. And also, what I like aesthetically is that possibility to play with a central part, because you can choose, the strap together with the color of a dial.
And the great thing is, it looks like it's emerging from this door, if you like, or something like that. I mean, it is very, very good. But this I have to say, I keep coming back to this one. It's just so exciting to look at.
Yeah, the Panther Pelage, I have to say, is probably the most essentially delightful watch.
But I mean, this is, I love it. But it's exactly into my taste.
Yeah,
it's exactly my taste.
Yes. Don't you think Nick would make an amazing ambassador?
Yes, I think it would.
He is already.
Nick, I think they should just give that to you.
I think they should.
Yes.
I think it's highly unlikely that they will, but I think they should.
A bit, what did they say?
Well, anyway, it's a lovely thing.
But this is the guichet. This time is limited by production, but not limited by.
Oh, fantastic! So it's essentially entered the collection.
Exactly. So yes, it's a kind of collection.
It's so funny,
according to the availability of a movement.
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
course.
No. The availability of the movement, you are brilliant. You just make them at the
I
factory.
realize, Nick, that actually has inner handmade angles as well, just on the windows, the guichets.
This is
They are.
because it gives the
opens
kind
it
of
up.
preciousness it needs.
But it also opens it up. I like that when they do. You know, when they do on the perpetual calendar digital display, they have the frame that draws the eye in.
And also we discussed also the polish on art of the things, and because it has to play with light in a way.
No, it's just funny to us because
But also the thing.
hand finishing is very trendy right now.
Yes.
But it's nice to see it applied to a case.
But what is nice is also the thing is it doesn't. A polished case would be so wrong. First of all, it would mark, and secondly, when you're trying to read the time and you've got the sun glinting in your eyes, it wouldn't work. And I mean, it's perfectly legible, but you have to look at it rather than you can't glance at it.
You know, one question I have for you is, I love the tactical model that you launched in platinum with the bracelets.
That was gorgeous.
Yeah, the top normal.
Yes. Why don't you have bracelets from some of these other watches? You know? For
So
example, the
we
Guichet
could, but
bracelet.
this one never had one.
Yeah.
So we could do that. We
Yes.
could do that, and we can think effectively of a bracelet.
You do like the idea
But-
of bracelet.
Yeah, but this one, well, why we didn't do it from now? Because the idea was to have a pure block of metal within two parts of a leather strap.
Nice.
So that was the idea of it.
Yes, it's
So,
almost
but
like,
why not?
It's almost like a mini ingot. It's almost like a little ingot, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, Nick, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Wei, I thank you for asking me. Thank you, as always. Thank you.
Here you are, Marvel, as always.
Oh,
thank you
Wei.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you.